You know, a memory came to my mind as I was watching the latest Caroline Leavitt disastrous press briefing. And it harkened back to college, where, you get assigned a project and you can have a partner. And so you don't really know your partner. So you just say, hey, how about you prep half the project? I'll prep the other half. It's a presentation in front of the class. So we'll meet before class and fill each other in on the two halves of our project. But mostly you can just present that half of the presentation. I'll present the other half. Right? Well, one time that's what happened, except I got to class and my partner had ghosted me, and they had filled in a presentation, but it was stuff they had researched I had no idea about. But then last minute they texted me that they weren't going to come to class and I would have to present alone. So I presented my half, but then I had to obviously present their half. And as I clicked through slides that I had no idea what they were, in the moment, rather panicked, I had to just confidently act like, yes, and the GDP of Uganda has seen and say it like I knew what I was talking about. And actually it went all right. The bullet points were nicely outlined. But then the class got to ask follow-up questions, and they started asking me questions. And so my responses, again, would have to portray confidence, but induced panic internally as I would try to explain answers to questions I was clueless about. That's what Caroline Leavitt reminded me of. As she got asked questions and had to defend something that she doesn't believe, she doesn't get, which is Trump's economic approach, why Trump would refuse to say there's not going to be a recession upcoming. And she gave off the energy that I know I gave off. I don't know what the outlook of the Ugandan economy is. I don't know, right? That was what I wanted to say, but instead I said, great question. When you look at the liquidity of the strength of the foundational nature of investments that happen infrastructure-wise, from the standpoint of developing nations within the organizations that they're a part of, then maybe that would be also true. A lot of that from Caroline Leavitt. Here we go. If you appreciate the show, please do click the subscribe button. As crises on all fronts hit and Trump's out there going, I don't know if a recession is coming, Caroline Leavitt is tasked with going in front of the metaphorical firing squad, reporters wise.
There will not be one. So can the White House just tell and assure Americans today that there's not going to be a recession?
Well, there's a lot to unpack there. So let me start by saying that, first of all, when it comes to the stock market, the numbers that we see today, the numbers we saw yesterday, the numbers we'll see tomorrow are a snapshot of a moment in time. And as President Trump has said, and I'm here to echo the remarks of this president of this White House, we are in a period of economic transition. We are in a period of transition from the mess that was created under Joe Biden in the previous administration.
Okay, a few things before moving forward on this. You're sounding really different about the stock market. So weird, isn't it? It's so weird. Because previously, Trump, whenever good things would happen under him, stock market wise would say this is the most amazing thing ever. It's proof that I'm the king. And then when slightly negative things would happen with the Biden era stock market, he would go, it's a crash. Biden's incompetent. But now it's just a snapshot of time. It's just a snapshot. And then I've already addressed for years now the economic points about Biden's record, but Trump was handed something that if he had been in power for 4 years following the disastrous handling by him of the pandemic that was then handed to Biden, if that era that Biden was in power would have been Trump, we're now learning, my goodness, he would not have handed to his successor. He would not have handed the situation Biden was able to hand to him. The recovery, it was impressive. A lot of issues, yes, but impressive. And a stable situation was handed to Trump. Sorry, when Trump comes in and starts trade wars and starts firing all of these people and causes economic uncertainty that induces the metrics that now people are concerned about, you can't go blame Biden. Sorry.
Under Joe Biden. And as we all know, and this administration continues to combat, prices soared more than 20% under Joe Biden because of his reckless spending and economic policies. So we are in a period of transition from that economic nightmare under a president who had no idea what he was doing, never held a private sector job in his life, into a golden age of American manufacturing under a businessman and a deal maker in chief in President Donald J. Trump, who is implementing the formula that we know works. Look at President Trump's results in his first term. If people are looking for certainty, they should look at the record of this president. That's why the American people reelected him back to this office. And look at everything that President...
Yeah, so this is a White House in panic. We are in a time of transition. We have entered the golden age of America. Do you remember Elon Musk? Yeah! On stage, that whole thing before he did the little not salute thing. Before he didn't Sieg Heil. I'm saying he didn't, MAGA, stop. I'm saying he did not Sieg Heil. Before he did not Hail Hitler. Okay? But that was the event where he didn't do that. Sheesh. He was excited because the golden era had begun and everything was going to get better on day one. And everything was much better than we're expecting it to be before Trump actually started doing stuff. Now, I love this. I heard Mike Johnson say a similar thing, which is such a weak, flimsy, flaccid argument, which is, oh, don't care about the bad things Trump is doing now economically because his first term was aight. First of all, it wasn't, okay? His economic mishandling of the pandemic crisis was terrible, and it's why we've been struggling to recover for so long. But even so, let's just judge the first 3 years. The reason why the metrics were good is because he didn't actually do that much economically, which he could have done this time. He could have not really messed up what was given to him, but instead he did. Last time, as all of you concur, he was a much less aggressive president up until the end there, and he didn't do that. I mean, he had his one big tax cut for the rich thing that added a bunch to the debt, but didn't actually mess up totally what was handed to him. And then minor tariff policies, nothing like, I've shown you the comparison, what he's doing now. And so if your argument is we should learn from the first term to judge the second term, then you're making my point for me, Caroline. So thank you. Which is that the first term he didn't do to the extent that he's doing now, the economic disastrous policies that he's implementing. And so the first term proves that if he just doesn't touch too much what a Democrat handed to him, then it could be okay. But when he goes crazy, it's not going to be okay.
Impulse, how would you describe his reaction to candidates?
The president has not yet spoken to Mr. Carney, not since I checked, which was just moments ago. But certainly his phone is always open to leaders who wish to speak with him. As for the tariffs, the president made his position on this quite clear with the statement that he put out. And it was a retaliatory statement due to the escalation of rhetoric that we've seen out of Ontario, Canada. The president saw the premier, Doug Ford, make an egregious and insulting comment threatening to shut down electricity for the American people, for hardworking American families. He made that threat. The president saw that and has an obligation and a responsibility to respond accordingly and represent the interests of the American people. So he has made the decision to add a 25% tariff. So now steel and aluminum tariffs will come into effect tomorrow at the rate of 50%. And our steel and aluminum industries have...
You walk up to someone randomly. Not even randomly. You walk up to a friend of yours who's only ever been good to you in a bar. And their name is Doug, let's say. And they say a boat. And you randomly shove them, okay? And they go, hey, what do Canadians say? Mate? They don't say mate. That's right. Jade, fact check me on that. What do the Canadians say? Hey.
It's
something like that.
on. You're spot on.
Okay. And they go, why'd you do that? And you go, whoosh, and then you hit them across the face. And they say, hey, why'd you do that? And then you kick them in the mother-loving crotch. And so they go, hey, why'd you do that? And finally, they punch you back. It would be absurd for you to go, oh, why'd you punch me? That's so rude. Now I have to shoot you. right? That's what Trump's doing. Or President Chump, as Caroline Levitt always calls him accidentally, which is hilarious. She pronounces his name Chump. It's classic. But they're getting mad at Canada for saying we're going to take measures to retaliate against Trump's trade war that he's declared against us, such that he'll stop. But then Trump is going, oh, now that you've done that, I have to escalate it more. This is why trade wars are so disastrous, because you have someone who desperately needs to prove that Stormy Daniels wasn't correct about the size of his you-know-what. And so he's going around and saying, I'm going to beat up all of our allies because those are the ones I'm less scared of. I'm never going to treat Putin like this, but I'll treat Trudeau like it, and Doug Ford like it, and Sheinbaum like it, because these are more friendly people. So I can show how big and masculine I am, and I can threaten them. So then every time they respond in defense of themselves, he then has more justification to escalate his economic war against them, which is what's happening. So it's not him being brave and fighting for American consumers, because it was him walking up and shoving them originally in the bar that caused this. Then more.
Fair trade practices where American workers are put first and are no longer ripped off by foreign countries all over this world.
President Trump says he's going to buy a Tesla today. Did he buy it? And when is the last time he drove a car?
That's a very good question. I have heard the president remark that he misses being able to drive, that luxury of driving his own vehicle, although the beast is nice, but he is going to be viewing a Tesla that is making its way to the White House complex now, I can confirm. Perhaps the press pool today will have an opportunity to witness this very exciting.
All right, let me address the absolute shame and corruption that act represents. But first, what popped in my head was, when was the last time that Trump drove a car? And then I thought to myself, I feel like I remember him attempting to get into a car one time. I would love, yes, here was the last time. You remember this? And whoop, there we go. All right, here we go. Oh, all right. Come on, let me in there. I don't actually know if he drove it, but at least he got into a truck. So that was the last time he got into a truck. But you will not even believe this. Trump is doing a PR event to help Tesla sales because Elon Musk's action and actions is causing this.
Market and that news, it's down almost 12%. Let's take a look at Tesla. That stock also moving lower today. Investors are concerned with Elon Musk's focus on Doge. They are worried about his leadership at the top EV maker in the US. Is he concentrating enough on that? The stock, by the way, down 50% since its high back in December, down today another 8%. And finally, take a look.
So Tesla stock is going, and that's happening because of Elon Musk's actions and other factors. And Trump is describing this as an illegal boycott. He said to Republicans, conservatives, and all great Americans, Elon Musk is putting it on the line in order to help our nation, and he's doing a fantastic job. But the radical left lunatics, as they often do, are trying to illegally and collusively boycott Tesla. So let me get this straight. Elon Musk, who now has apparently an official government role, massive security clearances without getting a background check or getting actual clearance, but he's been handed access to the most sensitive of information. He's making unilateral governmental decisions, and he's Trump's sort of co-president. And now, with no, let's see, regret or conscience about the conflicts of interest, no regard, that was the word I was looking for the conflicts of interest, because Tesla is seeing a little bit of economic uncertainty themselves. Trump's now bringing a Tesla to the White House for a photo shoot where he purchases it so that more Tesla sales can happen. That is brazen conflicts of interest, brazen corruption. And then he's saying people, liberals not wanting to buy Teslas anymore because it's become a symbol of Elon. and Elon's become a symbol of not seed hailing. He's saying it's illegal for us to boycott Tesla. What? I thought he was getting rid of the EV mandate. Now he's saying we're illegally boycotting Tesla? And then again, think about this. They were mad that they thought Biden helped Hunter Biden's business interests. They were wrong, but they thought that. Actually, he acted in the main scenario where they got upset with him, contradictory to the interests of Hunter Biden. But whatever. They said that was the case. And we all understand why you'd be concerned about the potential for that. You don't want family or friends or other people in the government to be treated special because someone has governmental power. But now Trump's literally bringing a Tesla to the White House so he can buy it so that he can do a PR stunt for Tesla because the company is suffering from the fact that their top dog is Elon Musk. Are you kidding me? Share your thoughts in the comments.